You have to put your time in. I don't do any real hunting anymore except for once a year, some deer hunting. And between QLA and my mentoring and the deal that Dan and I are working, that didn't allow for a lot of time. So this year, I did not get a deer. I spent just a little while in the woods. I had a trail cam up, which takes pictures in front of where I was. And so there's interesting lessons, I think, from that. One of the people that I hunt with ended up doing pretty well early, but I mentioned to him that was hardly any time that I could spend this year because I was doing QLA, and the results kind of show that. What was interesting, though, is when I went and pulled the trail cam, in the days that I was not there, which were a lot of days, there were all kinds of deer who were on that trail cam. So what he wrote back to me was something I've been preaching for years to all my hunting buddies. You have to put your time in. It's really hard to shoot a deer from the couch or the dinner table, or in your case, a computer screen. Amen to that. I keep a survey for the state every year. This year I logged 98 hours hunting before I tagged out. Last year it was 192 hours. In 2016 it was only 6 hours, but you get lucky once in a while. Some weekend hunters do get lucky, but most of them have put in hours in ahead of time scouting. Well, there's always next year. Have a great winter, and I'll see you next season. Well, maybe you'll see me, maybe you won't, depending upon business. But I think that's a really important lesson for QLA. You have to put your time in. I talk to people who say, well, I didn't make any calls, I didn't send any letters, I didn't do any cold calls, I didn't do any research to find targets, whether that's board members, professionals, or actually deals. And so it's really true. I've got a person, Deborah, who's done up to 400 cold calls in a day. I know that's going to sound crazy to a lot of you, but she has done that. I've got a person, Kevin, in Australia, and he just has a system that he works day in and day out, sending 100 letters a week. He's following up on those. He's done within the last year 3 deals. Actually, probably 4 deals because he was going to close a deal last week, and he's got 3 more that are in contract or letter of intent. So I would ask you to remember that if you're serious about QLA, you have to put the time in. Use a method like the Ivy Lee method, which is where every night you write out the 6 things that will move you closer to your QLA goal the next day. So write those out and begin to work on those the next morning. Put those in priority and also put a time next to them. It's one thing to say, I want to work out tomorrow. It's another thing to say, I want to work out at 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. tomorrow. So I think it was a good lesson for me again. The days I weren't sitting in my blind and this camera took pictures about 25 yards in front of me, there were deer there. But guess what? If I'm not there, it doesn't matter as far as hunting goes what's there. And the same is true with QLA. There are people doing deals. There are people doing deals in your industry. But if you're not reaching out to sellers, motivated sellers, guess what? Somebody else is going to get those, or they're just going to go along the way they have previously. So put the time in. That's the message for today. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments or ideas for future episodes, please email bruce@brucewhipple.com. And if you're not already on our mailing list, head over to brucewhipple.com and sign up and grab any of the free reports. That'll put you on the mailing list. There is a lot of free information you can use to acquire already profitable businesses. This is Bruce Whipple. Thanks for listening to the Business Acquisition Podcast. And remember, you miss 100% of the opportunities you fail to take. And procrastination truly is the thief of time. So do something today, please. Your future self will be proud of you.